Today is a very dark day, everybody. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, motorcycle retailers here in the UK has fallen. They've gone into administration and we don't know if they're going to come back. That company, as a lot of you may already know, is Completely. And we have done quite a lot of work this year with Completely. So today we're going to jump on the ZH2, we're going to go for a ride, and we're going to talk about what the future is of our channel when it comes to motorcycle reviews. Are we going to be able to continue working with Completely or whoever buys the Completely brand? Well, let's jump on and let's find out. Yeah, suffice to say, guys, I'm bitterly disappointed about it, and I saw the article. I mean, I'm not sure when this video is going to come out. It will be either on Monday or on Wednesday. I found out about this I think it was last Wednesday, but then I read the articles about it and the following day. And what is most annoying is that I only just started working with Completely this year. Yeah, and now, well, there's quite the high possibility that I won't be working with them again. But apparently what the situation is that they had quite a slow summer for sales, and that's pretty much what put them in deep waters. I do find it a little bit ridiculous how it was one summer. Well, at least that's what these articles are saying anyway, that it was just this summer of 2024 that has caused all these problems for them. I don't know if I believe that. I suspect that the company as a whole was probably having trouble well before that, maybe even up to a couple of years ago, who knows. But yeah, man, what a situation we find ourselves in as motorcyclists, that one of the biggest retailers, new and used. I bought my ZZR 1400 from Completely 4 years ago. Can't believe that a company of that size, I think the article said it turns over £70 million a year, has gone bust. Unbelievable. It just doesn't seem feasible, does it, that a company like that could go out of business in such a short period of time after one summer of poor sales. And I bet you they were on quite a high during COVID, because loads of people had money to spend because they weren't going on holiday. They were saving all of that money and didn't have anything to spend it on, so they spent it on new cars or motorcycles. Yeah, I don't know what to think at the moment. I would like to pop down there at some point this week and ask the members of staff there how they're getting on, because for me, I'm worried about them the most. These guys are fully dependent on their jobs there, and a lot of them, at least a lot of the ones that I know here locally, they do travel to get to work, and they travel up to an hour away, maybe even further than that, to get to work here in our local branch. So they're already spending a load of money just to get to work, I imagine with quite low pay rises, maybe even no pay rises for the last few years. That's all just speculation, by the way. I don't know the ins and outs of the company. All that I did was take their bikes out and test ride them for review. And I just hope that the staff aren't going to be too worse off for this, and I do hope that a buyer can come in and take over so it saves the jobs. I mean, some of them might be made redundant, we don't know yet. But anyway, yeah, so I might do a little bit of an update to this video in a week's time, once I've had an opportunity to pop down there and see if I can get a better scope of the situation. But let's hope that the staff can continue working there. It would be really disappointing, and I'd feel really bad for them if they had to stop for whatever reason. But anyway, so that's that. There is no going back for them, really. No, they're in administration. The actions of the company are out of their control, pretty much. The administrators are now looking after the company to try and protect it. That's what going into administration means. You get an outside body to basically look after your business. Woo! To make sure that as much of it as possible is able to survive. But where does that leave us? Well, I do have a few options. I hope that I can continue working with them after they've been bought and that the new owners are receptive, because I want to help them sell bikes. One of the main reasons why I want to work with motorcycle dealers is not just for my own benefit, so I can get exposure to new bikes with the channel and things like that, do journalism with them. I want to help sell the bikes because I want to continue this hobby. I want this hobby to continue going for my entire life, as long as I live. But if dealerships are going bust, and big ones, then it kind of makes you think to yourself, well, there's only a matter of time before selling motorcycles simply isn't a viable business anymore. Because one, not enough people are buying them, or the bikes are simply getting too expensive. Who knows? Inflation has had a huge impact on this as well, especially here in the UK over the last 5 years. I watched a video recently and how inflation is supposed to be below the recommended rate for the UK according to the Bank of England, but they don't take into account things like housing costs and energy costs, which I find absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, man, I really wanted to help them out, and I don't know. I don't think I was big enough in 2023 to work with them. I don't think they would have been interested in working with me back then. But as soon as the channel really started gaining momentum and getting exposure, that's when they were more open to working with me. And I had to approach them as well, guys. I asked them if I could take the bikes out. I used my own initiative to try and get some level of business with them. I paid for all the fuel that I used as well on the bikes. So yeah, I really tried helping them out, man. And the one that's local to our area, they just moved a Honda dealership as well, Honda motorcycle dealership in the same area. That would have cost an absolute fortune. And to be honest with you, I don't know exactly why they moved that company over, but for them, I suppose it was more dealership space, because the old dealership was quite hidden, and it didn't really, I don't know, unless you Googled it, you would never have found it on the street, whereas the newer location where I went and worked with them, there was far more exposure because people were driving past the dealerships every single day. So it was a better shop front effect, if you like. But anyway, yeah, so I hope that I can continue working with them in future if they sell. If they don't sell, or for whatever reason I can't work with them, there are other dealerships that I'm communicating with right now as we speak to get hold of some of their bikes to do reviews with, and maybe at some point in the near future I can actually get hold of companies like Kawasaki, Suzuki, Aprilia, Honda, Yamaha, and they will actually send me a motorcycle from headquarters, from HQ, and then I get to keep the bike for a couple of weeks or something like that, really get to know the bike, put it through its paces, and do the reviews that way instead. Keep it for a little bit longer than the hour, 2 hours that I get with the bikes working with dealerships. That's the long-term goal, but we'll see if we'll see how it plays out. I do have a couple of coals in the fire, which, I mean, I don't think that this year they'll give me the chance to work with them. I'm not sure. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe before Christmas we can start doing more bike reviews. But it's looking like more likely that it's going to be in spring 2025 is when I'm going to be able to start getting more bike reviews in, but we have capital at the moment to invest in new bikes. So I do plan in the near future to get hold of an A2 motorcycle. My wife is going to be selling her 125, so I do plan to get another 125, and maybe even before the end of the year get another motorcycle. The only issue is space. The space we have at home is chocker. We don't have a lot of room really left to fit another 2 motorcycles. I don't know, we'll see. When my wife sells her 125, we'll definitely be able to fit that one in. When I will definitely be able to fit another motorcycle, but if we can buy another one, that would be ideal. But I don't know. I don't know how, I mean, at this point, you know, it's kind of like, well, do I have to get the bikes myself? That kind of thing, to feature them. Maybe that is the route that we'll have to go, but we're not getting enough money yet to make that a reality, at least unless we want to pay for a premises to store the bikes. Woo! It's been a little while since I've been able to really ride this at H2 on semi-dry roads. The weather's been so bad. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago in a video, and the weather was bad back then, but it's just continued to be poor over pretty much the last 4 weeks, end of September, even up to now. I'm filming this, is it the 19th today of October? Yeah, madness. Absolute madness with the weather, but that might have been, again, part of the reason why bikes weren't selling that well. I don't think the weather was that great this year, and unfortunately most riders are fair weather riders. You know, I try to ride my bikes all year round as much as I can, but yeah, so we'll see, guys, in the next few months what I can wrangle together. Hopefully it'll be a combination of borrowing dealer bikes and acquiring our own for review purposes and things like that. The Daytona, gosh, I can't believe we've had the Daytona now for 4 months already. We've done loads of content on that bike, and as much as I want to continue doing content on that bike, I don't want it to go stale, if you know what I mean. So that's why getting new bikes to the channel, featuring on the channel, is really important to me. Alright everybody, so I don't want to say anything about the situation really in too much detail at the moment, because I don't, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know the ins and outs of the business, how it's managed, how it's being run. But from my experiences with them, they've been really positive. All the staff that I've spoken to are all really enthusiastic about their jobs. They love motorcycles. They I think they probably have some people that don't ride bikes that just work there, or maybe they rode motorcycles before. But for the most part, they all have a similar enthusiasm for motorcycles as I do. And it's great to see the fact that whenever I go over there and I'm talking to them, we can have really in-depth conversations about the bikes and that kind of stuff. It's really positive, and they really did give you a positive vibe in there whenever I was at our local dealer. So yeah, and I mean, when we stopped doing our ride reviews, at the time I didn't really know why. They basically just stopped anyone from taking the demo bikes out. Anyone, not just me. But the owner was happy for me to continue doing what I was doing once everything was sorted out on their side. But it doesn't look like they've been able to sort things out their side, unfortunately. If the existing owner still has control over the company in some capacity, then I don't see why I couldn't continue working with them in future. But yeah, at the moment it's all ifs and buts. We simply don't know. So I'm talking to Triumph at the moment to see if I can get on board with them. There is Harley Davidson as well here in Cheltenham, which I haven't got in contact yet, but we'll see on that front. There's also nearby KTM. So yeah, plenty of options for me to explore. They are smaller dealers, so that might work in my favour, that might not. But one of the reasons why I went for, it's a Blackbird. Oh, what a lovely bike. One of the reasons why I wanted to work with Completely was because of their brand influence, because they had such a big name across the UK, and they held events and stuff. I think they were a sponsor for the BSB and other motorcycle events, which they wanted to invite me to. It would have been a great opportunity, and I don't know if I'm still going to get that now that they've gone into administration. But I don't know, guys, we'll see. I'm still positive about what my options are at the moment. Completely were never going to be the only dealer that I was going to work with. Whee! So we'll see. This time next year, I think it'll be a totally different story. Completely might be back on their feet as far as we know. Who knows? Only time will tell. But thank you so much for joining us today. And by the way, I have seen a few comments about the Completely thing as well. So this is why I thought I don't know, kind of give my point of view across to you guys about it. It is quite a big deal, especially for us motorcyclists, but for others as well, the workers and all that stuff, because it really does send some bad signals at the moment about where the industry is going. And I was actually planning to shoot a video about, well, what the health of the motorcycle industry is right now in terms of sales. And unfortunately, the conclusion to that research is pretty much being ratified by recent events. Hey. Alrighty, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me on today's ride. And I mean, you let me know down in the comment section if there's, I don't know, any other information that I've not seen yet that, I don't know, might give us some positive signs to come. Let me know if there's anything like that out there. But yeah, unfortunately right now, the information that I have at the moment, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do have some plans, some ideas that I can pursue going forward for the channel to try and keep the content as fresh as possible. Woo! Damn, this bike's fun. And everybody, yeah, thank you ever so much for joining me on this lovely autumn day's ride, and hope you've enjoyed it. But like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section below about what's going on at the moment, and go ahead, leave that like, hit that subscribe button down there. I'd really appreciate it, and that notification bell so you don't miss any more of our videos going forward. And we will catch you all in the next video. Take care, ride safe, have a good one.